I followed my wife at 11 o'clock at night, and the address she typed into her phone wasn't a hotel. It wasn't her sister's place. It was my best friend's house. My name is Ethan Carter, and 3 weeks ago, I found out that the two people I trusted most in this world had a secret between them. And by the end of tonight, you're going to understand why I almost wish I never followed her at all. If you're new here, hit subscribe, because on this channel, every story is a warning wrapped in a mystery, and this one hits different. Let's get into it. It started small. Sarah, my wife of 6 years, began locking her phone screen every single time I walked into the room. She started taking calls in the bathroom with the fan running. She said she was helping a coworker with a project. Then it became grabbing coffee with a friend. Then it became nothing at all, just silence and a kiss on the cheek before she grabbed her keys and left. I told myself I was being paranoid. 6 years of marriage, a mortgage, a dog named Biscuit sleeping at the foot of our bed. People don't throw that away for nothing. But paranoia has a way of feeding itself at 2 in the morning when your wife is still not home and her location sharing has mysteriously stopped working. That Thursday night, she said she had a girls' night. No name, no group chat, just her heels clicking against the hardwood floor and the door closing behind her. I grabbed my keys. I want to be honest with you, I'm not proud of what I did next. I got in my car and I followed my own wife like she was a stranger I didn't trust. I kept 2 cars back the entire time, headlights off at the stoplights, heart slamming against my ribs so hard I thought she'd hear it through the windshield. She didn't go toward the restaurants downtown. She didn't go toward her sister's apartment complex. She turned onto Maple Ridge Lane, and my stomach dropped, because I knew that street. I knew that street better than my own. She parked in front of a house with a basketball hoop bolted above the garage door and a porch light that's been burnt out for 2 years because the owner never bothers to change it. That house belonged to Jake Sullivan, my best friend since sophomore year of college, the best man at our wedding, the man who taught me how to grill a steak, who helped me move 3 times, who I would have trusted with my life. I sat in my car for 4 full minutes, just staring at his front door, my hands shaking on the steering wheel. Every version of this story I could imagine ended the same way, with me knocking on that door and everything I thought I knew about my life falling apart. So I got out. I walked up that driveway, and I didn't knock. I used the spare key Jake gave me 2 years ago for emergencies. The door creaked open, and what I saw stopped me cold. Sarah was sitting on Jake's couch, but she wasn't in his arms. She was hunched over his kitchen table, surrounded by papers, bank statements, a letter with a hospital logo on it, and a laptop showing a spreadsheet titled Jake Payment Plan. Jake looked up at me first. His face went white. "Ethan, this isn't I can explain." That sentence is the one that makes your blood run cold, isn't it? Because in every version of this story, that sentence comes right before the truth destroys you. But Sarah stood up first, and she said something I never expected. "Ethan, please don't be angry with him. He didn't want you to know." Know what? 6 months ago, Jake was diagnosed with a kidney condition that insurance barely covered. He'd been hiding it from everyone, from his own family, and especially from me, because Jake has this thing about never wanting to be a burden. He'd been secretly seeing specialists, quietly draining his savings, and slowly falling behind on medical bills that were spiraling into collections. Sarah found out by accident, back in March, when Jake called her in a panic because he didn't know who else to talk to. And instead of telling me, she made a decision. She started helping him organize his finances behind my back, meeting him late at night when I was usually already asleep, because Jake begged her not to tell me. He said he couldn't stand the idea of his best friend looking at him differently, looking at him like he was fragile. I stood in that doorway, and for a second, relief crashed over me so hard my knees nearly buckled. No affair, no betrayal, just two people I loved, trying to protect a third person I loved, in the clumsiest, most secretive way possible. But then I looked at the spreadsheet again, and one line stopped me. A transfer. $8,000. from our joint savings account, dated 11 days ago. I looked at Sarah, and for the first time that night, she wouldn't meet my eyes. Sarah, I said, our savings account? She said it was a loan, that Jake was going to pay it back. That she didn't tell me because she knew I'd say no, because we were already saving for the down payment on the house we've been talking about for a year. And that's when Jake said something that changed everything again. He said, Ethan, I never asked her for that money. I told her I'd figure it out myself. Silence. The kind of silence that tells you there's still one more layer to peel back. Sarah finally admitted the truth. She hadn't just been helping Jake with his bills. She'd been quietly pulling money from our account for 2 months, telling herself she'd replace it before I noticed. Convinced she was doing the right thing by helping someone in crisis, without ever once considering that it was my money too. My future too. My trust. Spent without my permission. Here's the part of the story that stays with me. Jake didn't know. He was horrified. He turned to Sarah in that kitchen and said, I would never have let you do that. And I believed him, because Jake has never once, in 15 years of friendship, given me a reason not to trust him. But my wife had. Not with her body, not with some stranger in a hotel room, but with something just as fragile, the quiet agreement that we make decisions about our life together. We didn't resolve everything that night. Jake apologized over and over, offered to sign something to pay every cent back with interest. Sarah cried in a way I'd never seen her cry before, not performing, not defending, just broken, because she finally understood what she'd actually done. I drove home alone that night. Sarah stayed at Jake's for another hour, finishing the conversation I couldn't be part of yet. And I sat in our kitchen, staring at that same spreadsheet on my own laptop, thinking about how the scariest secrets aren't always the ones you expect. I thought I followed my wife into an affair. Instead, I followed her into the truth about how easily good intentions can turn into a betrayal of a different kind. Jake is still my best friend today. He paid back every dollar within 4 months, refusing to let it go any other way. Sarah and I are still married, still working through what trust looks like after something like this, not because she cheated, but because she decided, alone, that a lie of omission wasn't really a lie at all. If there's one thing this taught me, it's that betrayal doesn't always wear the face you're afraid of. Sometimes it's not another man. Sometimes it's not another woman. Sometimes it's the person you love most, making a choice for both of you, and never giving you the chance to say yes or no. If this story hit home for you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because Leon Drama Stories drops a new one every single week. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Drop a comment below and tell me, would you have forgiven Sarah, or was that trust broken for good? I read every single one. See you in the next story.